Today, we're going to talk about my top 10 favorite art movements. Um, Let me specify visual art movements and not things like sculpture, but just movements that could be something, that could be displayed on a blank wall. So let's cut to the visuals and get to them. So most of the images here are going to be taken from one source, this book, Art, the Whole Story. I do have one collage and one comic art that will be from a different source. Most of them are from here. This book does not particularly have one author, as it required hundreds of different experts to produce. So here is the ISBN if you want to get a copy. And my training is in photography, and so of course we have to start off with photography. One of the most well-known American photographers, of course, has to be Ansel Adams. This is one of his Yosemite Valley photographs. Now, a common misperception about Ansel Adams was that he was this old school, did everything without any help from modern manipulations, and that's not true at all. Like a photograph like this, he would have spent probably a week or more in the darkroom. You see the darker shadow portion over in the top left. He's gonna really spend a lot of time burning that down, making it darker in the darkroom. And then also the opposite of that is dodging. So he would have dodged these clouds more in the middle where it's like pure white, just to create as much contrast as possible. Now the next type also is photography, but it's different enough that I think it warrants a separate category. And I'm going to call that art photography. This is a famous Henri Cartier-Bresson photograph. A lot of times this is used in discussion of the decisive moment, which that is true. It would have been a precise moment to take the photograph and catch him exactly in the middle of the jump. But to me, more important than that is the forethought, the vision of the balance it was going to create. And so, in that respect, I'm going to put it under art photography. Now, that last one's a little bit of a contrarian opinion. Here's one that's undeniably art photography. This is a William Eggleston photograph. And basically, this is in the 50s. He was trying to convey the imbalance of really a lot of the poor in America with this photograph. He was laying down in the street, with a wide angle lens to make this tricycle appear larger than the house. And we're kind of in a period in America right now where I think more people need to. I kind of think this needs to come back. One of my favorite statistics about America right now is half of a working Americans, that's 100 million people, have less than $500 in the bank. We're pretty darn close to needing another economic revolution. Let's move on to more art. A couple of my other favorite subgenres are night photography, macro or close-up photography, and the application of minimalism or minimalist photography. This would be most of the things you see pre-framed and Target right now are basically influenced by minimalist photography. Pop art is going to be one of the earliest styles I was aware of, and as you probably know, Andy Warhol is probably the greatest proponent of that style. Nearly everybody is familiar with Dali and the persistence of memory, which is a great example of surrealist style or surrealism. And so that is still one of my favorite styles. Next, we have urban art, which I'm going to include actual street painted things that are no money was involved. There's just to just to share it, really. And also paid or money generated things like Banksy. I'm going to lump those together and just call them both as urban art. Next, I'm going to blend in two things into what I'm just going to call comic art, and that's both panel by panel drawings, literally drawn for comics, and also comic inspired paintings like this Murakami that basically are just comics drawn on canvas, but the end result is these are sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars, but money does not determine whether it's art or not. That's just commerce. Abstract art is probably my absolute current favorite style, as it's the style that I'm working in. Now this has, the drip splatter paintings, also stuff like Rothko. It's just vastly different than splatter painting, but they're all included under the same banner of abstract. This is the style in which people see it and they say, oh, my 5-year-old could have painted that. And if anybody is up for debate on that, let me know and I will make another separate 5-minute video on why your 5-year-old could not have painted that. Now, this particular book I'm using has the subsection European Lyrical Abstraction. Nonsense. This is just the Europeans trying to take credit for largely an American style of abstract art. Okay, for this next one, let's move away from the heavily emotional into the more deliberate with the style. Um, this is pronounced like de style, which is Dutch for the style. So that's, if you ever see that word, that's what it meant. But painstakingly sharp corners would be incredibly difficult. Now this next style I'm going to call copy machine art. That's different than collage in that this is just a single photograph, but the process of photocopying it repeatedly or then transferring it onto a different substance to print on creates a more dynamic image that has really high contrast. It reduces the amount of tones. And so this is a unwound 7-inch record. So this is used in punk rock, the making of zines, flyers, that sort of thing. But in my opinion, it is a distinct style with one specific method to produce it. Next, we have collage art, sometimes called photo montage if it's only photographs that are blended together, but it can be painting, photographs, text, random debris that you find outside. It can be almost anything. It really is one of the most democratic forms of art in that almost anybody can produce it with discarded leaflets, magazines, stuff you find in the trash. It's really, really difficult to produce good collage though. And so in that respect, I think it is a fully fledged art form. Now there is one or two areas that I do take umbrage with this book. This book particularly has this painting under abstract expressionism. I think this is better be classified as minimalism in painting or just minimalism. Basically, you just have a red background with a yellow and a black stripe. Abstract to me is a little more violent strokes, a little bit of randomness, a little bit like this. Take a look at this for a minute and see if you can tell what's going on. They're calling this body painting. Here's a picture of what's going on here. To me, this is abstract art as well. It's just a different application method, and I'm sure, in the 60s you could get people thrilled about the idea of coming to watch this live, but really the end result is abstract art as well. So please comment below, what is your favorite style of art, and did I miss any styles here that you're really a big fan of that I need to check out? Talk to y'all later. Take it easy out there.